Good afternoon, everyone. I trust that you all can hear me, and I just want to welcome you this afternoon. Thank you for signing in. I am here just to assist, as the banner says on the screen. I am Miss Gooden, and I work at Rosary Boys RC School. I am a Standard 4 teacher. In fact, at Rosary, we do Standard 4s and then 5s, so my class would have just left, and then I have my new class now, and I'm very excited to have them. So, I am a teacher at Rosary Boys, and I am here really to assist you with the platform that we're using, which is Microsoft Teams. And I know that some parents have been having issues. Now, I decided to use YouTube because YouTube is ubiquitous, it's everywhere. And with YouTube, it's one click and you're there. However, I am sure that you can appreciate that we can't use YouTube for class, because YouTube is not very interactive. This is going to be a broadcast. However, we can have some level of interaction. So, what I would ask is that you use the comment space to type in questions. But please identify your class teacher or your son's name so that if I need to follow up, I would know who or which parent I need to follow up with, right? So if you are going to ask questions, no problem with using the comment thread. However, please identify your son, your class teacher, so that I know who I have to get into contact with to follow up for any other issues, or just to get into contact with because your situation might be particularly different and then you did not have whatever issues you're having addressed here. So I will try to address some of the very, very basic issues. Now, firstly, let me say that I am at home and this is live. So, live events normally you would have some kind of something happening and I can't control my immediate environment. So, if there's somebody bursting through the door saying, "Mommy, mommy," let me just apologize for that because, yeah, that's what happens when you're home, right? Okay. All right, so welcome to our principal. So I'm seeing the principal there in the chat. Good afternoon to you, sir. And this event was organized by the principal. He wanted to reach out, especially to parents who were having issues with Microsoft Teams, and he asked if I would have this session with you. So, yes, good afternoon to our principal. Okay, so let us begin because, yeah, we would not want to keep you all here for a long time. Also, because we are using the free version of this, we don't have unlimited time. So let's get started. And what I did, I prepared a PowerPoint presentation, which would help me keep on target with the points that I need to raise. And again, I want to encourage you to ask questions if you find that your particular issue was not addressed here, then please leave it in the comments. But you must as well either identify your son's class teacher or your son so that we know who we have to reach out to. All right. So let's go straight into that presentation. And because it's on PowerPoint, I'm just going to share it. Okay. All right. So, frequently asked questions, that's what we're going with. And it is really frequently asked questions by users of Rosary Boys platform, not frequently asked questions worldwide, right? Of course, Microsoft Teams is not unique to Rosary Boys or not unique to Trinidad and Tobago. It is also something that is totally ubiquitous. The first video that I saw of people using Microsoft Teams was a university in Australia. So far and wide, people use Microsoft Teams, and it is a very robust platform. So lots of people feel that when they have issues with Microsoft Teams, that something is wrong with the app. Nothing's wrong with the app. In fact, updates and fixes come out all the time because so many people all over the world would be using Microsoft Teams. Probably some of you as parents, your organization would have been using Microsoft Teams since the start of this pandemic. But the difference with us is that we use Microsoft Teams for education. So our platform is designed a little bit differently. And I guess that is a bugbear for some of you, right? But that's okay. I think that we can work out the issues and bring you to a level where you are comfortable using the platform itself, right? So let's start with the beginning, signing in. All of you would have been given a rosary email and you were asked to sign in. And there are two ways that you can sign in. You can use the app or you can use the internet. So yes, you can sign in on the internet. And there are some people who don't like to use the app because it takes up a lot of space. It is a very robust app. It covers quite a bit of things, and because of that, it will take up a lot of space on your device, or your child's device for that matter. And I think that for some people, that really is part of the issue. The device that you're using does not support an app that is that powerful, along with all the other things that were on the device from before. So maybe your child liked to play Fortnite, which is also a very powerful app. So they don't want to get rid of Fortnite, and their device cannot support both things, Fortnite and Teams. So, of course, you're going to get lots of issues there, right? So, I would suggest the first thing that you need to do is ensure that the device your child is using is able to manage the apps that is needed for school. Even at the start of the pandemic, when people thought, we'll only be doing this for a month or so. Even at the start of the pandemic, we at Rosary, we were advising people, we're going to be in this for a while, get a good device. I don't know if a lot of you have realized that the government is going full speed ahead into digitization. There's even a whole ministry dedicated to it. And that ministry, along with the Ministry of Education, have been talking about ebooks rather than you buy hardcover books or hard copy books, that you would be using ebooks in a little while. So it would benefit you and your son to have a good working device, right? So signing in, we can use the app, we can use the internet. Using the app. So the app looks like this. You would see this on your screen, this icon for the app. And if you have downloaded the app, that is the icon that you're going to click to be able to sign in. Mobile devices, that's tabs and phones, your sign in will kind of look like this. And for people who are on laptops and desktops, the sign in kind of looks like this too, except that, of course, it's a wider screen, right? I use a laptop. So because I do, my view of this is going to be so much different to people who have a mobile device. However, you have to sign in. So let's look at the username and passwords, right? You were given a username and a password that was iconic to your child, like very unique. First name dot last name at rosary.rc.edu.tt. A whole mouthful, right? So, for example, if your son is Terrell Mitchell, then your sign in for your son would be terrell.mitchell at rosary.rc.edu.tt. The username is not case sensitive. So if you put a capital T or a capital M or a common T and a common M, that doesn't matter. If you put it as all caps, that doesn't matter either. The password, however, is case sensitive. So let's deal with the username first. A lot of people, when they come with complaints and say they're not getting through, it is because they did not put in the username exactly as it was given to them. Recently, I had to help out a parent, and that parent was typing in at Rosary Boys RC. It sounded like it had to be the same school, you know? I mean, his intention was to sign his son in, right? However, the characters are different, right? Your son will be identified by this label: first name dot last name at rosary.rc.edu.tt. Even putting an extra space or an extra full stop will corrupt the whole thing. So you really need to be careful with the signing in. So if you're putting stuff in and you realize you're not getting through, remember what I said at the beginning. This is a very robust app. So nothing's wrong with the app. What you'll have to do is look very carefully at what you have been typing in. What is your input, right? What are the things that you're inputting? So check to see that you don't have an extra space. Check to see that you don't have an extra full stop, or that you missed out a full stop or a letter. Sometimes just in typing, and we know that because autocorrect does things to us all the time. Sometimes you're typing stuff in, and what is in your head does not really translate to the keypad. So your first port of call, you're not getting through at all, check your username. Make sure it's correct. Sometimes when you put in the wrong thing, you get an error message that username does not exist. So then you have to go back and check and make sure that all your characters are in place. The password is case sensitive, right? So the password, it has to be, if you have put in capital letters, then it's going to be capital letters there. And if it is that you have put in a number, then you're going to have to put in that number, that kind of thing. Right? Okay, so let me stop sharing for a bit because I'm hearing that there is an issue. So let me stop sharing and try to share again. All right. I don't know if this is better, but I do know that somebody would tell me. So I hope it didn't stick this time. All right. So let's try it again. Let's go on. Still not moving. Okay, that's fine. Then let me just get out of presentation mode and just stick with. Okay, no. Now they're saying it's better. All right. Well then, so let me go back from the start. All right, this was the one that I reached with username and password. So I hope that this is the one that you all are seeing. Okay. So let's continue then. Right. So the password is case sensitive, but the username isn't. That's what we were discussing there just now. So sometimes when you type it in and you are not getting the response you expect to see, you have to check to make sure that all your characters are in and that all your characters are matching, right? So I'm changing the slide again and I hope that you can see it and not that it's sticking again. Okay, let's look at signing in online, because signing in on the app is fine. You put in your username, you put in your password, you're in. But you can also sign in when you're online. You open your browser. So when you open your browser, let's say not sharing. Okay, let's go again. Let's try it one more time. I think I'll just not do presentation mode. I think I'll just go with plain um plain on PowerPoint here. Let's try that. Okay. So let's sign in online. So you can sign in online as well. And it is something that I would recommend a lot of times the people who are saying they're not getting through with the app. You can also sign in online. Open your browser, go to Office 365, but you have to remember that you have to use your son's rosary username and password. Um, I'm seeing where people are saying they're still not seeing it. Are you seeing the one that says to sign in online? Can you message right here and let me know? The one that all right. Okay, good. So the one that says to sign in online, that's the one that I am on. Right. So let me go back to that. Okay. So signing in online is something that you can do if your app is somehow sticking, giving trouble, whatever is the case, you can sign in online. You open your browser to Office 365, you use your son's rosary username and password. That part is important. Remember that your son belongs to our organization, but online he's identified by his username and password. Yeah? And I know that for a lot of parents, you're like, well, I mean, he's a rosary boy, so, and this is his device, so he must be signed in. Fair enough. But he has to be identified using his rosary username and password. Some of us as well, because our computers are smart devices, they remember our sign in. So sometimes you are signed in as you, as the mommy, as the daddy. And so now your son, who is going to be using this device, he's not signed in there. And so you would expect that when you sign in, you would see everything you have to see. But remember that your device would be looking at who is signed in. Your son is the person who is added to our organization, not you. So if you're signed in as yourself, you're not going to see what you're supposed to see, right? Or what you want to see. All right. So this is what Office 365 would look like in your browser. You just click one here. If it's the Office 365 login, you can click that. And then you get a page where you have to sign in, put in your username, password, and sign in. Right? So that username and password, as I said, is going to be what is used to identify you. Well, your son. because your son is the person who is added to our organization, right? So I find that that most times is an issue. When you get there now and you're signed in, you will see Microsoft Teams in the corner. So I tried to draw a little red arrow there. And that is where you click on Teams and you get Teams open up. So you can sign in online, you can sign in with the app so that you can join class, right? If you find that you sign in with the app and it somehow goes awry, then you can try to just sign in online. Also, what is important is for you to remember that nothing is wrong with the app. So, if you sign in on a different device and you're still getting the same issue, then you probably need to check something out there, probably what you're typing in. But signing in on a different device is like a fail safe for you to see there's nothing wrong with the app. Maybe it is this device that needs to restart or isn't charged properly or has a glitch of some sort, right? Now, let's talk about passwords. A lot of people are not getting through because you do not have a strong password. Yeah? So let's talk about the strong passwords. Strong passwords have at least 8 characters, at least 8. It can be more than 8, right? And in these characters, you must have a capital letter. One of those letters have to be capital. I normally just make my first letter capital, but some people do it to their last letter. Some people do a few letters capital. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, must have a capital letter. You must at least have one number as well, right? And then special characters are allowed, like exclamation marks, question marks, hashtag signs, all those things are also allowed. I always advise parents use a child centered password, not their names. The system is designed not to accept their names. You are definitely going to get an error message there, right? Don't use their names. Try their favorite game, their hobby, their pet, and for the number, use their age. So many people, their passwords are things like mac and cheese 8, or things like hot dogs, um, hot dogs and fries 10, or things like Fortnite 11. Try it child centered, focus on what your child likes, and then that would definitely help you to create a strong password that your son would remember and that you would also remember, right? Write down the password and then take a picture of it. So if you write it down on a page, take a picture of the page that you wrote it down on. So it's always going to be in your phone. Okay? And whatever or wherever you would have written it down, also keep that in a safe place. So that way you can always refer to it just in case it is lost for whatever reason, or you forget, or maybe he's by granny today and granny doesn't know what the password is. Whatever is the case, take a picture of it after you've written it down so that way you'd always have it with you. I would also advise to add another layer in emailing it to yourself. So even if your phone reset, everything's wiped out, you have it there in an email that you can refer to at any point. Okay? So create a strong password, not his name. A good password does not never ever includes his name, right? What if you forget your password? You do all of that and you still didn't get through the password. Okay, no problem. Just tell your son's class teacher or let the office know, and the principal will assist you with a password reset. So that means that you'll go back to password 1 and then you'll have to create a new password again. Okay? And that isn't so hard once you've done it the first time, but it is sometimes tedious. Sometimes the principal doesn't have the time to go into the system to find your son's name. So please guard your passwords with your life. Right? Right. So you've signed in. Once your sign in has been done properly, you would see your son's class. If you have signed in and you're not seeing your son's class, it means you haven't done it properly. Remember, nothing is wrong with the app. It's used worldwide by millions of users every single day. So nothing is wrong with the app. Check your sign in. If you haven't seen your son's class after you sign in, then that means you haven't signed in properly. Lots of us, our devices, remember what we have signed in as, and what happens is that it goes straight to that sign in, right? And so then it automatically goes there. And when it automatically goes there, it forgets what you just typed in. So it's important to clear that away and make sure that you are signed in properly. Okay? So if you are not seeing class, then you ain't signed in properly and you need to do it all over again. Okay, so I'm seeing someone saying to create a code book for all emails and passwords, and that is a very, very good advice. So thank you for that. So yeah, for me though, I try to use a similar password and sign in because I'm signing as all sorts of things, so that my password isn't hard to remember. And please remember that when you are creating a password for your son, make it child centered, right? Make it all about him, just not his name. Okay. So if I am signed into Teams, this is what my screen would look like. I would belong to all the teams where I'm added, right? So your son, when he's signed in properly, he would see all the teams to which he's added to. Probably it's going to be two, where it's going to be his class team as well a team for plenary sessions, like when you have department meetings and so. So once you're signed in, you see all the teams that you belong to. Well, your son. But if you are seeing nothing at all, then it definitely means you are not signed in properly. Okay? You sign in and you still didn't see class. What to do? Well, you can go right here in this profile and see who is signed in. So a couple of parents would have visited the school and they're saying, well, I'm signed in, but I still not see in class. You need to go and make sure that you have signed in properly. If you look at this closely, I'm not sure you can see it as closely as I can. I have two organizations here, Rosary Boys and Mukarapa Girls, because my daughter attends Mukarapa Girls. So those two organizations are there. If she is signed in, then I won't see my teams. And if I'm signed in as her, if she is signed in as me, she won't see her teams, So we share this device sometimes. And because of that, I would have to make sure that I'm signed in properly. So it happens to all of us. If you are sharing a device with your son, sometimes that is where the issue would lie. So you just have to make sure that you are signed in properly once you're not seeing class. Okay. Look for the video icon. So you're signed in, you're seeing class, and you can't get in. Miss and not, I'm still not getting into class. The video icon tells you that a meeting is going on and you would see that join button. So you have to look for that video icon and then you click that join button, right? Notice that on the side, the word Teams is selected. So if you are anywhere else, it's going to look differently. You click on Teams, whether you have a mobile device or a laptop, so that you get this view, and then you go into that team and you get you look for that video icon and you look for the join button. Some teachers, they send their class information not in a channel but in the calendar. So you go to the calendar and you still see the join button, right? So the join button is there as well in the calendar, as long as the meeting would have been sent there. But once you look for that video icon, then you were one step away from joining the meeting or joining the class. Always think about restarting your device. And people, just today I had to tell my class about that. Just as how you do maintenance on your car, you have to do maintenance on your devices. Some people, you just stuck in a loop. As the device is dying, you stick the plug in and you charge it up. But restarting it also gives it a chance to take in whatever updates and clear whatever bugs. It's like a quick bug fix, right? Some people don't shut down at all. The device dying, they plug it in and they're still using it, or they leave it plugged in all night so it keeps going. You can always try restarting your device once you are getting an issue. And always ensure that your sign-in profile is correct. So that is something that definitely happens when people are getting issues. That is most times, like 99.9% of the times, that is the issue. You're not signed in as you are supposed to. So this is me as well. I took a pic of me signed in, but not as my Rosary email. So when I'm not signed in as my Rosary email, I won't see the teams that I belong to for Rosary Boys. I will see the teams that I belong to for other organizations that use Teams and to which I also belong. So you have to make sure that your sign-in is correct. And right at the top there, at the top left-hand side, you click on that and it brings it down for you, and then you see who really is signed in. Once you're having issues and you can't see the class, most times that is the issue. You are not signed in using the Rosary email. You're signed in as another profile, but another profile will bring up teams for that organization or that other organization, or probably even a personal account, not for Rosary. Remember, we would have added your son using his Rosary email. So you must make sure that that sign-in is correct. So let's talk about uploading work. And I know that once you're signed in, your son attends class, he's going to have to do work. And some teachers ask for that work to be uploaded into Teams. So how are you going to upload this work? Well, you have to look for that paperclip icon. And that paperclip icon is used in many apps to attach stuff, to attach a file, to attach a picture. So you've taken a picture of your son's work and it's time to email it. Remember to use your son's profile. That is how he's identified here. That's how we know who you're dealing with. It's pretty hard to go through a set of emails and I'm seeing Sexy Daki 5. I would know which child would have that, would that work would be sent from. But I would recognize Jordan Peters, right? So please remember to use your son's profile when you have to upload work or when you have to send it by email. Look for that paperclip icon so that you can attach documents or pictures. And some mobile devices, there is a plus button, a round button with an add sign. So you see that too, and that is how you get to attach work or upload work to the channel or wherever Miss says to do it. Here is where, so this is a picture from my class. So for these children to send their work, they have to look for that paperclip icon, and then they must press that send. That send looks like a paper plane almost, right? So once you attach your work, you have to send it. Some teachers ask that you upload the work using files. So you just click on files and then you add it, because let me see, I know I have that. Yes, I do. You can upload it here as a file. So you click that upload and then you go wherever the work is stored and you are able then to upload the work. Right? Seems simple enough, but I know that you may have some questions on actually doing it. So you really have to do it, go through it, and then, you would know if you're getting any issues or so. You can always come back to this video by clicking the same link and looking at it again to see if the guide here would help. Microsoft, in and of itself, has many training videos, so you can also refer to those and they would also help you, right? So please don't be afraid to use the Microsoft resources, because they are putting those resources to help everyone. I'm seeing a question here. What about OneNote to assist with Microsoft Teams? So yes, some teachers rely on OneNote because Class Notebook is a feature of um, Microsoft Teams. And if you look on this page that is there, that is being shown now on the screen, you would see where in my class I have Class Notebook. It is formed automatically with our team, and it is amazing. So we use it, but you are using it in the same way. When you have to attach a document, a picture, or work that your son did, you look for that paperclip icon because it is similar in OneNote. But OneNote is a whole different kettle of fish as to how it should be used and so on. And definitely, we don't have time for that this afternoon, but I do promise that we can do it again, um, just for OneNote, right? But by then, everyone should be on Microsoft Teams, and then I can just have the meeting there inside of Teams, so it will be even more interactive, right? I chose YouTube this time because I know that some people are having trouble with Teams, so I did not want to do it on Teams. But I'm hoping that after this session here, and you really check your sign in and so on, that the next session we are having can be on Teams and you'd be able to just join there, right? And we'd be able to talk about OneNote in detail. So, thank you, parents, for coming here. If there are any other questions, please type them there in the chat so that I can take note of them. Anyone has any questions about signing in, etc.? Any questions about anything that was presented? About signing in, about profiles, about creating passwords, about getting into class, about seeing where the meetings are? Okay, cool. So then that means the next time that we meet to talk about anything related to Microsoft Teams, we can actually meet inside of Teams, because by then everybody would have had their sign in. And so if I send a link to your son teacher and say, this is, we're talking about OneNote here, then we can just meet in Teams and do it. I'm seeing somebody asking, how can you switch an account from your son's name to your name to attend different meetings? You just click the organizations. So, like how I have 4 different organizations there, you log out from your son's name and then you log back in using yours, right? But you must do that log out. If it is that the sign in that's there has all the organizations, then you just click on one and you're in. But you must do that log out. So click on the profile, go down to the bottom where it says log out, and then log back into whichever account you need to find whichever organization you want to find. How to upload from a phone to notebook. Then you need that OneNote app. Yeah, you need to download that app to your phone. Mobile devices work a whole lot differently to laptops and desktops. Laptops and desktops are computing devices, so they work differently to mobile devices, which are tabs and phones, right? For you to upload from a phone, you need to download the OneNote app and follow the instructions that come with OneNote on your phone. I know that there are lots of YouTube videos on how to use OneNote mobile, so you can use those as well, right? Because I figure that you want to upload the work from your phone because you're taking a picture with your phone. Yes? But let me just clue you in on this trick, because I do it all the time with my daughter too, right? I take a picture of her work and then I email that to myself. Then I open that email on my laptop so that I'm able to maneuver it better. Because on your phone it's tiny, and sometimes you're pressing something, it's not working, the phone change from portrait to landscape, all sorts of things can happen, right? So when I take a picture of her work and I have to send it to Miss, I email it to myself and then I open that email on my laptop, right? So that helps me now. I can save it, I can download it, I can share it wherever, right? So if it is that you're getting issues with your phone, you can't find it, the OneNote app isn't working well on because of the phone that you have, maybe you don't have a lot of memory, email the picture to yourself, then open that email on a laptop and you're good to go. But I can have a session just on OneNote, just for parents, just on how you get the work there, whatever work Miss would have sent and so on. And we can do that inside of Teams because we address all the sign-in issues here, right? Any other questions? So I'm not seeing anyone else asking questions, but let me just give it 2 minutes because you literally have 2 minutes again, right? Yes, cam scanner. So here now, here how I know about cam scanner. I know about cam scanner from the boys. So when they have to send work to me, they download the cam scanner app and then they scan their work because the picture quality is a whole lot better from a scan, right? And then they're able now to send me their work and I'm able to see their handwriting properly. So yeah, cam scanner can work, and it can work not only for Miss, it can work for you too, right? There are other scanning apps that can work, but the scan will give you a better picture quality. For me, because I use an iPhone Notes, you can scan documents, and so that gives you a whole lot better picture quality, especially with handwriting and so on, right? So that could work. What about Flipgrid? So Flipgrid is also a Microsoft app that is integrated in Teams. For me, I have a whole Flipgrid tab, so the boys are able to click that tab and get to Flipgrid. So Flipgrid, if you're using it on a mobile, though, I believe that you have to download it because mobile devices work a whole lot differently. So yeah, you'd have to download it, right? How can you monitor your child while he's in class from a mobile phone without logging him off? You can add that device. So please send me a message to let me give you those permissions. I would have given permissions in the past, on the admin side of things, for you to add another device on that login. But yeah, you can log in using your son's credentials, and it will not transfer the meeting. Actually, you have those two options. You can transfer the meeting to one device, or you can add a device, right? So you can monitor him whilst you're at work and he's at home, because you're in class as well, right? What I would ask, though, is that parents remember to please keep your mic muted. So in the past, I had parents who were logged in at work and the child is at home, but mommy didn't mute her mic, so I'm hearing all the office chatter. Yeah, so it's kind of disruptive. So I know that you just want to peep in. Yeah, you can join in using your son's credentials from your device at work, but you have to remember to click add a device and not transfer the meeting. Would it be possible when you have that session on OneNote to show it using the various devices? Yes. It means that I would have to use it on different devices too, because I kind of tied to my laptop. Mobile devices don't give you a lot of range in terms of in terms of power, for want of a better word. The computing capabilities of mobile devices are a whole lot different to laptops and desktops, right? So it is, but I would be using it so that way when I come to the next session just on OneNote, I could do it using mobile as well as computing devices, and then yeah, so then I'll be able to show you both. Okay, so the chat feature is supposed to be disabled. Um, Please tell me which class that is so that I can follow up. But the chat feature is supposed to be disabled for all boys. They are able to reply to messages that teachers put in, but to private chat, it's supposed to be disabled unless, of course, I would have missed a few students. Yeah. Especially if you're a first year student, I'm not sure that I would have gone back in to put those settings there. But yes, what we did is disable it for the entire organization. However, we left that feature where boys are able to reply to a message, because some people, their device is not working well and they just need to chat. That is how they have to communicate with their teachers. They need to type a message in, right? But I would certainly follow up on that. Okay, is there anything else? Because I kind of seeing this door opening and various members of my family watching me like, you're not done yet, mommy, you're not done yet. All right, so parents, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening and thank you for your questions. because when you can ask the questions, it would definitely help us to help you, right? And I will have another session just on OneNote, yes, various devices, and we'll have that inside of Teams. So it'll make it a whole lot more interactive, like a whole class, like a regular class. And we'll do that very soon. I'm thinking probably in the next 2 weeks, but I will consult with the principal and get the messages out to you. All right. So thank you for coming. And I will see you all probably in next 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.